Hey you guys, Abby Talmadge with the Douglas Realty Group here. I am with Blaine Wallace of New Leaf Home Inspections. He is my favorite home inspector. He does almost every one of my transactions. Today I just wanted to ask him a couple of questions for you guys so that you know exactly what to inspect when you're looking for a home inspector and what kind of projects you should be looking to do this summer and things not to do. So Blaine, let's go ahead and jump in.
Absolutely, let's get to it.
So Blaine, my first question to you is, when picking your home inspector, how do you know an inspector is the right one for you?
So from what I understand, real estate agents normally give a few choices of inspectors. Some important things to ask when you're interviewing these inspectors or inquiring about their services is what their reports look like. A lot of guys will have it posted on their website. Mine's posted for everyone to see. A lot of them are different from each other. My reports are very simple. They don't use a lot of words. They do use a lot of photos and videos in layman's terms to make it easy to read. But some people do like more intricate reports with a lot of wording. They all follow the same standards and we follow the same guidelines. It's just finding one that works along with what you're looking for in a home inspector.
My second question to you is, what are some important factors to consider when you are choosing your home inspector?
One of the most important things is obviously to make sure your home inspector is licensed in the state of North Carolina. North Carolina in particular does have a very, very stringent licensure process, and that is all public information at nchilb.com.
Okay.
All the inspectors are listed there with their license numbers, what counties they service, and things like that if you wanted to double check and make sure that they're valid. And along with that, the state does require us to carry minimum errors and omissions insurance and personal liability. You know, that way if something happens at your house, then you're covered and you're good to go.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit away from, picking your inspector to, home projects on the home front. So what are the top 3 summer home projects you recommend homeowners do to keep their home in good health?
Some of the common things that I always see during the summertime that people don't do are services on your HVAC system. It's a great idea at major season changes, at least twice a year, hot to cold, cold to hot, to get your HVAC guy out, have him hook up his gauges, make sure your Freon levels are correct for the summertime. Your system is going to work in overtime this time of year, especially in North Carolina. It's hot and humid out here. We're in the 90s, 100s sometimes. It's always a good idea to get them once over. Another thing that people never do, or I see very often, is dryer vents. That heat is just accelerated within the walls or in the crawl spaces, wherever those dryer vents are ran to, and it's obviously a fire hazard, all that lint built up in there, and it's just more apt to happen in the summertime just because it's hotter outside. Third one would be our gutters. Our gutters, it's always a good idea to clean out our gutters. In the summer times we get a lot more rainfall than the winter times, and it's important to keep that water away from our foundations in our house.
My next question to you is, with COVID, many people are doing home projects because they have more time. What are the 3 types of home projects you see done that homeowners commonly forget to get permits for?
So huge on that in the summertime. Everyone loves to be outside, and that's great. They love to build decks, and they love to attach things to their homes, and they love to have those awesome she sheds or man sheds that are built outside. What we need to watch out with those is if they're attached to the homes, we need to get a professional to look at that. Make sure they're attached the right way, make sure they're flashed properly for security and to protect your house. We don't want water to be able to creep inside of there. And then also with those detached buildings around the house, a lot of people in the area do have septic systems, and that's often not looked at when we're installing those nice permanent pools on the exterior that sit on top, or those nice large sheds on foundations that sit outside. It's a good idea to get the county or city out there. That way they can map your septic lines, tell you how far away you need to be from those. Same thing with decks. When you're building a deck, oftentimes those lines can run up to 10 feet away from the house. So we got to be careful when we're building that deck and extending it out, whatever we're doing out there, to make sure we're not driving into the septic field or anything like that.
The next question I have for you is, what does the typical process of an inspection look like when you arrive on site?
Sure. So every inspector has their own way and their own favorite steps to take when they're at a house. What me and my guys do normally is we start on the exterior and then move to the interior, and we start to the bottom. Start at the top, and then we go to the bottom. When I'm on the outside of the home, we start with the roof and we walk on it if we can, and then we go to the exterior of the house and we look at all the major components of the home. When we're on the outside, we look for any power panels, any disconnects, and all of your HVAC material in the exterior of the house. We look at the grading of the land around the home as well, and any concrete pads that you have, any deck attachments. When we go in the house, we do the same thing. We go up to the top floor and then we work our way down. The reason being is we want to run all your plumbing. And then when we run all your plumbing, when we get to the lower floors, we're able to see where the gravity takes the water. And then we get finally to the crawl space, we can see where all the magic happens and where all the plumbing runs to and where all the leaks and all the craziness happens. But that's the reason we start from the inside and go from top to the bottom.
And my last question for you, Blaine, we are in a global pandemic, woohoo.
Yes. Yep.
So what's your take on agents or clients being present during inspections?
So our company policy is we are discouraging anybody from attending inspections. As an alternative to that, even though normally we do welcome everyone out to the inspections, just for liability purposes and to keep everyone safe, we have to remember that myself and the guys are in multiple homes a day, not just on home inspections, but also with radon pickups, water testing, test inspections, things like that. So we're in and out of, around about 10 homes a day apiece. And a lot of these homes are still being occupied by the sellers. And we don't want to start that chain of events, and we don't want to be that responsible party for promoting this sickness as we're moving forward. So we're just kind of trying to avoid that at all costs and keeping everyone as safe as possible. Alternatively, like I said, we can do an on-site call. Happy to FaceTime with our clients. But our reports are very detailed and they're very informative. Like I said before, with a lot of photos, a lot of videos if needed on there. So they're easy to read. You won't get lost in them. And I'm happy to do an overview of the report as well after they're reviewed. So it's still the same information that's conveyed, and we still take the same steps, whether you and your whole family are at your inspections or if you're not there. Sometimes we're even more thorough if you're not there, because it's a little bit less of a distraction for us as inspectors.
So you guys, thank you so much for joining us today with this inspection conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And Blaine's company information is right below, right here, so you can ask him any questions that you have, or if you need an inspection, he is here for you in North Carolina. So thank you again, Blaine. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Cool. Take care, y'all.